So you've done the self-help and you've dipped into some personal development, but now you ask the question, now what? What can you do? Well, if you want to escape the apathy, step right this way. So twice a year, I teach a course called Autonomy. It's a 12-week personal development and training course. What people get out of it is multifaceted. There's curriculum, there's exercises, there's camaraderie, you make new friends. There's a whole lot of interesting things. We're going to hear a sample from the course right now, and let's take a look at the value these students are getting. The things we want to hold from that video, the idea of anti-fragility is just this. Instead of it making you weaker, you take it as an improvement and you grow from it. So that's the gist. In the past, somebody might say something to you and it takes you down a notch and you feel subject to it. In the anti-fragile model, you say, well, is there any substance or validity? Are they inadvertently giving me constructive criticism and I just don't like how I'm hearing it? And you question it. And if there's some validity that you can make a positive change on, you make positive change, you grow from that. And the next time they try to do the same thing, it's not going to work because you've already outgrown that, like a pair of shoes that you can't put on anymore. And that's the wonderful thing. As we grow intellectually, it's not that your fears really go away. You just outgrow them. It's no longer Lake Erie in front of you. It's a puddle that you can walk around. Same thing with things like stage fright, introversion. Once you figure out how to work the widget, you can apply it to all these different things. Other topics expressed in that video that are of importance before we go on this grand journey for 12 weeks. The idea of the ineffective ethic. People who mean well in their ideas and actions, but deliver the results opposite of what they're trying to deliver. Many such cases in the world. In fact, I would argue that the number of evil people in the world, very small, very few. You're not really even going to run into a lot of those people. But the number of people in the world with an ineffective ethic, they mean well, but they actually cause you a lot more work, pain, strife, anxiety, frustration than should have been in that situation. So there are people out there trying to be ethical. An ethic is an attempt to improve something. But if that attempt to improve something, they want to control global warming, but the end result is people starve to death. Was warming going to starve people? No, not for ever would that happen. But the policies, right? So when the treatment is worse than the actual ailment, these sort of things. So learning about ethics, you guys can do it as part of your graduate level work. It's the first course that we produced aside from autonomy, because as a creator, I wanted to be able to have a course, a flagship course that teaches sales and marketing, but I also wanted a 12-week course on ethics so that people would use the tools they get in this course ethically and for the benefit of themselves and humanity and each other, and not be used as weapons to beat each other up with, right? He also talked about the black swan. A black swan is an event that exists, but you don't know about it yet. And in Europe, the gist was they thought swans were only white and there could not be a black swan. And I think Australia, they discovered a black swan. So this thing they didn't think could ever exist, existed at one point. And then it's used as a metaphor. So as an example, no, I don't want to use that example. As another example, let's say you have a bridge and it's prepared to carry a certain capacity. So at the time they built the bridge, they took the heaviest trucks that exist and they put them all over the bridge. Every square inch was covered with the heaviest trucks. The bridge could hold it. But then in the future, 100 years later, heaviest trucks that exist are way heavier. Can you fill the bridge with those? No, they didn't foresee that type of event. They didn't build it to withstand that. That bridge is going to collapse. So a lot of times in life, we prepare for things based on what has happened up till now. The area in this, the area around here is flooded up till here. So if we build our house here, we will never get flooded. Or this place has never had a tornado. So if we live here, we won't, or it hasn't had an earthquake, right? The unforeseen black swan event is one day, oh, there's earthquakes in Oklahoma or Ohio or Pennsylvania where they really didn't have earthquakes before, right? So also not to overplan or do anything with diminishing returns, but just to always be considering the unknowns. And these are things that Talib's point is no matter how much humanity, in fact, the more humanity tries to control nature, the more unpredictabilities they're going to appear. So it's the trying to exterminate or terminate all these other unknowns that we kind of get into more trouble as humanity than those actual unknowns represent to us, if that makes sense. It's a major problem in the world. It's going to be a major problem in the world for the rest of our lives, probably. So understanding the mechanics of that, and then how to keep ourselves separate from it, insulated from it, run a parallel system to it, continue to survive and thrive, is an important part of the anti-fragile ethos idea that I offered to you guys.
Everyone's doing some kind of self-help these days, and you can find a million self-help courses out there. Most other courses out there are hosting lectures, they're hosting videos, they're maybe even doing Q&As, and these are great starting points to encourage learning. But at AUTONOMY, we believe that hands-on practice is the best way to really lock in what we're learning. There's no better way to gain confidence and mastery than through action. After each lecture, we practice the concepts we've learned with other students, giving and receiving feedback in a non-judgmental environment. The result is mastery of concepts like entrepreneurship, ethical sales, and self-reliance in an environment that directly translates to the real world. Plus, you make connections with other like-minded individuals who are learning right alongside you, and you have a lifetime membership in the community. The AUTONOMY course with Richard Grove equips you with confidence, competence, and courage in a world filled with confusion and noise. You can learn more at getautonomy.info. We'll see you there.